This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, 4 teams are fighting for their lives, and every match could have major playoff implications. Hello and welcome to Week 4 of VCT Americas, coming to you live in the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, California. I'm Geek Heavy, here, joined by my boys, Wyatt and Balla. How y'all doing?
All right, man. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We had a very fun, silly time last time we were doing this in Kickoff, so I'm glad the reunion is
Same.
here.
And we all survived Super Week.
Yeah.
You see that?
What are you waiting for?
There's no thunder or lightning. We survived. We survived, everyone.
Okay.
Yes. Now, this week is full of make or break games for all of our teams because a shot at playoffs and Masters Shanghai is up for grabs. Now, here's what's coming up today. Now, we're starting things off with G2 versus MIBR, and then it's Sentinels versus Loud. 2 matches I'm looking forward to.
What?
I just like
Why are you laughing?
What?
It's just going,
I'm just providing some ad-libs. No, listen, I mean, Sen
do you take off,
Sen
Quavo?
versus Loud? Now, hold up. That one, I'm ready.
Okay.
You got the conniving fingers right there. I can see that you are ready for it.
Devious hand blow. I am ready for that game.
All right, and if you look at the standings, every region seems to have grouped up. It's like, you know, the phases of, matter, solid, liquid, and gas. You know, like if you're LATAM team, you're solid, and if you're an NA team, you're liquid, you're kind of hopeful, you know. And if you're a Brazilian team, you just gas. You're just gassing right now. You're dropping to your knees and you're praying. What is going on with Brazil?
I mean, it's dire down there. It is real rough. Not a win.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk about that later, but jeez.
I don't want to believe what I'm reading on the prompter right now, which is that they're 220 map record. That doesn't sound real. I don't want to believe it.
How can a whole region be that?
I don't
That's collectively, which is just insane to me to even fathom that. But you know what? There's a lot of ways this all could shake out. You know what? So let's see who's qualifying. Y'all want to play a little game?
Okay.
Let's play a little game here. So I got
love
some
games.
stickers here.
Especially Valorant.
Some of our team.
What?
All right. And I want you all to slap these. Who you think's going to qualify?
Okay.
I think it's going to be eliminated.
All right.
All right. I'm going to save y'all time right now.
Oh, okay. What is that one? Oh, that's Lev. That's just going
Lev,
right up there.
bam.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they're qualified.
Loud, I hate to say it, they're not qualified.
0-3 right now?
They're 0-3. They have to beat Sen, and Sen need this win.
I mean, if there was anything the Loud could do to be a regular Loud, they would do that. I got EG. This one, I mean, you would expect it not to be where I'm about to put it, but I think it's there. I think it's there.
You're putting it qualified?
Ooh,
I think it's there.
Very nice.
I'm definitely expecting it.
Yeah.
All
right, here we go.
NRG. All right, what do we got? NRG.
Give me your crew.
Eliminated. NRG,
Really?
just like that, out of there. I got them eliminated. Even though they have 3 wins right now, I think, or 4 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins.
They have to play 100 Thieves and EG.
Right, exactly. And I
mean, that's doable.
Nope.
That's doable. The problem for me is the rest of the teams. It's going to be weird. For Crew, I mean, they're 4-0. They're about to go undefeated. They're going on a run.
That makes sense for sure.
I think it's easy clout for them. Just 1 win needed.
Crew are my favorite team
you
right
got
now.
Cloud9?
C9.
Balla?
Yeah.
Furia.
See, C9, the Cloud9 thing that you got right there is the reason I'm okay with you putting NRG down there, because I think Cloud9 kind of have an easy schedule up ahead, right? They're easy clap this week, and then next week they're playing Loud.
Yep.
So
they're qualified.
I think they're going up
C9
there.
going through.
Furia, I mean, that poor Panther. I mean,
they have a cool logo, though, everybody.
I don't know where I'm
very cool logo
over here. I don't know what that quadrant is.
Great logo, great.
Quadrant 3.
Yeah.
We can give them that. All right.
And then what do we got? Oh,
Give me
Sentinels? Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Sen, the running back, they are qualified.
Yeah, that's
I've got Sen
risky.
going through.
Risky.
They're 2-2.
It is rough for them right now.
It's risky, but they're going to get 2 wins in a row.
Yes, exactly.
I believe in them.
I think easy. And even if they lose to Loud, I think the pieces could still fall into place. It's a million situations. But for 100 Thieves, again, this second group that we have, I think it's just EG, 100 Thieves, and Lev going.
It just has to be.
Yeah,
100
because
Thieves
the
definitely
rest
been
of
showing
the
out,
teams in
right?
that group
G2. For you, Balla. MIBR.
MIBR.
I mean,
why are you laughing?
I didn't laugh. I didn't laugh.
G2?
There was no laughter. What are you
is this
doing?
legal? Can they still
Wait.
No, but
yes.
they're gonna qualify. I'm pretty sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We got too many teams up.
Yeah, way too many teams.
Wait,
you are.
No. Wait, yeah, then G2. are out of here, I think.
Okay.
It's so sticky. Can't get it off the wall. But yeah, then G2, I think they're out of there, right?
Sure, whatever.
If we're
I don't
running
even
with
know what
Crew-
team is in which group anymore.
Sen and C9. That would be the 3.
The calculation.
That would be the 3. So G2 are out of there. But I don't think that's true, but that's fine.
Have you like gone through calculus with this?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Brother, it's 7 plus 4. Okay. 11, which is the number of teams in the league.
Did y'all pass math
He's
at all?
being toxic.
Okay, well, you know what?
This isn't toxic.
Yeah, well, let's get into today's first match and talk about G2 Esports, who went the distance with Leviathan, but just couldn't get over the finish line. Now, they have to win today if they want to make it out of a very, very competitive alpha group. And I guess, like, the question I have for you, Ball, do we think that they can do it today?
Yeah, well, the thing that I think what watching last week proved to me is that they're peaking at the right time, right? They've gotten some, I think, more easy wins earlier on in the split, but at this point, right, going up against Leviathan, nobody really expected that to be as competitive as it was with Leviathan's form. And let me tell you, Leviathan is playing well, and in that game they played well, but G2 still made it competitive, still took a map, and still made that last map very interesting. I think they definitely have an opportunity, but it's really, I mean, it's not even about their games particularly, because I think they can win both of these games. I think it's really, this group is tough to actually calculate.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're facing MIBR today, and, you know, I know things haven't been looking too good for MIBR. So some people, the streets have been talking. They've been saying that this one is just going to be a given win for G2. But, you know, you can't count anyone out, though.
Yeah, absolutely not. Remember Kickoff, right? Remember that the wild card teams that made it into that tie-breaking group. G2 lost to MIBR. That was the whole point why that weird situation with G2 versus Sentinels was going on in the first place. So, I mean, this is history, and we've seen what can happen already.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we're talking, you know, collectively about G2, but let's talk about one person in particular, and that's Leaf, who was nuts, and I'm saying nuts in a good way. You know, in the last match, he was playing Sentinel, but he was putting up Star Duelist numbers. And Baller, we were talking about this. This isn't necessarily a surprise to us.
No, absolutely not. Because he's played the Star Duelist role in the past, right? Yeah. That's where he was on Cloud9. This guy was potentially one of the best players up there with Icebox last year through the regular season. So this is no surprise at all. Finally, he's coming into the shape.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the role swaps that they made on G2. I think it was really heads up bringing in Icy to take over the duelist role. And it's put Leaf in a position where you're watching him anchor sites really well. And being on the Sentinel, you're going to have him alive for the late rounds where he can just have huge impact. Like, was his raise really good in Kickoff? Was he consistently dropping like 20 plus on maps, putting in numbers? Yes. But also he had a ton of deaths, you know? And just having a player of his quality alive in the late round when he's so smart at playing those situations.
Yes.
Is
He's
just
able to impact just by being alive.
He's finding so much more impact than just getting a kill and getting traded out. Yeah, it's him being alive, that long-lasting impact. So.
Yeah, I love how the lower third said, "Leave him alone." We're not going to leave you alone. Leave you alone. I love puns. Puns are my thing. Anyways, but we will leave him alone for now because we're going to move over to the competition, the team that they're going to be going up against. Now, after a promising kickoff, MIBR find themselves 0-3, and they really need to win out for playoffs to be on the table. And I guess the question I have, Wyatt, what is going on? Why have things gone so south for MIBR? Like, do we think it's just like their agent pool, perhaps? Could we find the answers there, you think?
That is part of it. This team, they haven't changed enough since Kickoff. I think compared to everyone else, some teams like G2, who on Icebox are really pushing the meta forward with their composition. MIBR have not done that, and in fact, at this point, they're behind the meta. Which, like right now, we're looking at the agent pick rate for stage 1. And listen, you're seeing a lot of Sky because they're playing a lot of solo Initiator.
This looks like 2021 comps.
I mean, it looks ancient. And what are we missing here, everybody?
Something is definitely missing.
And I'm not talking about ISO, and I'm not talking about Deadlock. And I'm not talking about Globe either. I'm talking about one far more important agent, Arden.
Okay.
And that agent is Gecko. It's the Gecko. Where is he? Well, I mean, he's right here. And it's actually ironic that we're seeing the agent pick screen because MIBR don't know what that looks like. They don't have the latest patch. And by latest patch, I mean like a year old.
I don't even know, like this is like 5.0.
But I think right now, Gecko is just, as far as the initiators, is just leading the meta. What we've seen is that if you're just running Gecko and you don't have a lot of game plan behind it, like, it's not going to be super effective. But the teams that are really using him in tandem with the other initiators have that level of team play, like Leviathan. Right at the front of the meta right now, and they haven't played him at all.
And I'll tell you why I'm really surprised about that, Akeem, is because they have a coaching staff that has pushed the meta in the past, right? They have Fraud, they have Bazooka, guys that we've hyped up so much to make this team bring them to the next level, and they led the meta last year. Fraud in particular on Loud, that Viper Harbor was the defining factor of last year. Yet, where are they, right? Where is the meta leading that they could be kind of achieving with that coaching staff?
Honestly, I'm right there with you both. Like, I don't know, maybe they're just afraid of monsters. You know, they don't want to, like, sick monsters on looses and do all the thing. I know, yeah, very adorable. But you know what? Let's hear from one of the team members, RGL Meister. We're going to send it over to Riv.
RGL, let me grab you for a second. How you doing today? All right, so this is a must-win match. How has the team been prepping?
Vocês têm que ganhar hoje. Como é que vocês estão se preparando? Como é que vocês se prepararam para o jogo de hoje?
A gente tentou resetar ao máximo nosso mental, porque a gente sabe que só a vitória importa hoje e a gente vai para cima independente de qualquer coisa.
Yeah, we tried to reset our mindset because we know today's the day and we're gonna go for it.
All right, well, let's see the reset online. Good luck.
Definitely hope they go for it. Now, the thing is, like, in a loss to NRG, we did see Artzen step up on Split and make some big plays with Jet, which, I'm assuming we're hoping to see more of this happen today.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is the guy that I think I was most excited about coming out of the Brazilian region this year, right? Because he's a rookie to the league, and he fried in Kickoff. That was the reason I was excited for MIBR. And I mean, not just Artzen, but he was very, very good. However, in the series against NRG and all throughout the entire split, it's been a little rough because he hasn't been able to get as active as you saw in some of these rounds, in some of these moments, looking like Nerve out there. But there's moments where I just had to. It was the same spotlight. It was the same spotlight.
I know, it was in hell. Oh, my God. Yep.
This is the guy that you were excited for if you were MIBR, right?
Sure.
The promised one, in a sense.
In that game against NRG, too, on Split, especially when he gets an off on defense, he was getting a lot of first kills for MIBR. They just struggled to convert 5v4s, which is a massive issue, obviously. But, you know, if they can fix that problem, he is definitely doing what he needs to be doing for the team. I think stepping up in those situations.
I think the team needs to be a little bit more proactive about getting him moving in different places, because oftentimes in NRG, obviously that's a team with a lot of experience. They're going to be able to isolate the Opera. They're going to be able to isolate and push Artzen, make him a non-factor. Yeah. That's what they were doing consistently, despite the fact that, yes, in the moments that they couldn't push him off, he was getting some value. That's the thing that they have to avoid, I think.
Yeah, well, we know our players and we know our teams. Let's find out where we're going. We're going to send things over to the coaches and get today's map picks and bans.
Hey guys, welcome. As you know, teams were decided via coin flip. G2 will be Team A and MIBR will be Team B. G2, you will have first map ban.
We'll ban Sunset.
G2 ban Sunset. MIBR, what would you like to ban?
We ban Lotus.
MIBR ban Lotus. And what map would you like to pick?
We'll pick Icebox.
G2 pick Icebox. And would you like attack or defense?
Attack.
MIBR select attack. And what map would you like?
Bind.
MIBR select bind. And would you like attack or defense?
Attack.
G2 select attack. And you have one map ban.
We'll ban Breeze.
G2 ban Breeze. MIBR, what would you like to ban?
Ascent.
MIBR ban Ascent. Decider map will be split. G2, you have attack or defense?
Defense.
G2 select defense. All right, boys, best of luck today.
All right, we got our maps. We're headed to Icebox first. What are our thoughts? How are we feeling? It's going to be pretty cold out there.
Our thoughts are
one of the
that,
teams.
my thoughts are that I hope MIBR are really good on bind. Those are my thoughts, because they're leaving in. I mean, we saw what G2 just did some last week. Like, I mean, MIBR.
Yeah.
tough to imagine they can take that one. So it's going to all be about that.
I think it is kind of an interesting idea, though, because, you know, you just mentioned G2 versus Lev last week, right? A lot of times after a loss like that, teams come a little bit more strong on the ones that they lost, right? And not necessarily focused on the ones that they win. So MIBR throwing something new could be possible, especially because, in my mind, they're playing a map that they could actually implement that Gecko.
I hope they're playing new stuff. I want to see them play loose and fun, even though there's a lot on the line, and with new stuff. Just send it and try to frag out, have a good time, alleviate the pressure.
That's one that I think MIBR can actually find some way to pull the levers and get an advantage. On Icebox, though, I don't think that's happening. G2 is fantastic on this map, and they've always been kind of favoring it since the beginning of the split. So I'm really excited to see G2 continue to pick that map, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, what are our quick predictions right now, Wyatt? Who do you got in this one?
I mean, G2.
Yeah.
G2?
Just going to get the same answer. I'm sorry. I want to say
G2
MIBR.
too?
I really want to say MIBR because I really think they impressed me. And I think in Kickoff, I was like, oh, to the moon. But it's just back down to earth here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna keep some hopium alive for MIBR in this one. I mean, like, maybe we'll see something similar to what we've seen during kickoffs. But anyways, today it is do or die for every single team. G2 versus MIBR, Sentinels versus Loud. Week 4 of VCT Americas starts right now.
Landing from Val in a reload. Even time for it. Sky is just walking them into neutral.
Tá bem posicionado pra punir ele. 3 kills do Art. E ele quer mais. Olha o Artzinho!
A G2 é um time que a gente já jogou, né, no Kickoff, então a gente conhece um pouco o jeito que eles jogam. A gente tem que dar uma analisada nos jogos deles pra ver se mudou muito o playstyle deles.
It's a revenge match for us. They beat us 2-1 in Kickoff.
Jonah on an off angle, another kind of hero setup. Should get traded immediately, surely. Locking it, ADS, Bulldog. And it's just binding up to pieces. Shredded in place.
Não tô sentindo bem, acho que a gente tá jogando muito abaixo do que a gente costuma jogar e do que a gente pode apresentar.
Every time we have a revenge match versus an opponent, we always come back way stronger and way more consistent than the last time.
E nem sempre é algo que é dentro do jogo, às vezes pode ser algo psicológico, algo fora, que o que é mais importante é a gente conversar e tentar arrumar formas de resolver isso.
FRC though, he's got to be that difference maker and he's found the first one, still planted for him. 1v1. Second again, now which way is he facing still? Expecting it from the spawn angle and FRC. Easy pickings.
Eu tava nessa posição no ano passado, mas é um jogo que a gente tá confiante e a gente vai dar nosso máximo.
Riot Games Arena! Let's get this week started. Make some noise for your first team, G2 Esports! Can't be called a newcomer. We've been up for several summers, seeking how to step in commas. If you with us, buy the bundle. Say you should buy the bundle. Barely time to buy the bundle. For this turn of errors rumble. Cause you know we titans in this game, ain't no contest. If we take it to the game, turn a Wild West. We ain't faking what I claimed, it's a wild threat. No rook, we been a vet. Now check the mindset, by the name of G2. How to take over the world, how we come through. You just follow in the herd, we don't have to. Best forget about what you heard, probably ain't true. This ain't go-to, cause you know it's G2. How to take over the world, how we come through. You just follow in the herd, we don't have to.
Enquanto tiver chance, eu acredito. Recebam MIBR!
Deslumbrante a natureza que nos revela. Essência natural. Made in Brasil, original. Nós leva a vida dura, mas sempre no alto astral. Mas admito, sou brasileiro, trabalhador que vai à luta. Não desiste, merecedor dessas conquistas. Nascidos para o mundo, trago o Brasil no meu peito. Em busca das vitórias, responsa é com nós mesmos. Quando me perdi, encontrei comigo mesmo. E tirei forças, eu não sei da onde. Amigos eu ganhei, perdi, são coisas da vida. O que me dói é a minha família longe. Torcedores vaiam, outros me motivam. Vou persistir nessa longa estrada da vida. Vencer é obrigação, derrota é uma lição. Desistir pra nós não é mais opção.
Well, It's almost showtime. I think I'm going to keep the hopium alive for MIBR in this one. You have to, yeah. I mean, not only do we fans have to, I feel like the team has to. Like we saw them. We're looking at them right now. They definitely have like their game face on. Hopefully, we're seeing something special.
I hope we see something special. And by something special, I mean Gecko. I mean, not what they were running last time. Last time they were on this map, they were running the Harbor Viper, double controller, Jet, Sova, KJ. I just don't like that comp for this meta. It just gets, when you're going up against double initiator, you just run through those walls. They are irrelevant when there's a Dizzy coming through with a flash, or in this case, if G2 are running the same comp, when you have to deal with a recon coming through combo with a Dizzy, all that util, the walls are just irrelevant. I want to see them switch the comp up, take a damn risk here, and just play loose. Like, don't feel the pressure at this point.
Yeah, I mean, opponent's map pick is a great place to go for a switch up like that. However, it is week 4, right? There's not much time. This is a place to take risks, but how can you do it with only 2 weeks left in the season? That is a big
last week, they had a great opportunity to do a comp switch up against NRG, and they didn't take the opportunity. They just ran their same comfort comp into them and lost, and that was a risk I wanted to see them take last week. They need to take it now, or they're just going to lose this map and have to go on to bind and try to win from there.
I do think that the narrative that we had last year about a lot of the Brazilian teams, for MIBR, it's the same sort of thing at this point, right? They're away from the location, they're away from home, right? It's a long season most of the time. They've been here since kickoff, right? Those sorts of things do add up, but it's do or die for this split. Otherwise, you're going to be taking a long break during Shanghai, and you're going to think a long time about how to actually flip things around and make champs at the end of the year.
Well, here we go. We got the agent select screen right now.
I need to see the MIBR that didn't care and beat 100 Thieves at the end of last season. I need to see Fraud get in the server and knife someone up G2. I needed that MIBR.
Oh my goodness.
Well, already different. They've gone with Artsin on the Sage. So here we go. We're gonna have something new.
They're cooking something up.
Or the oldest thing, the least new comp, the oldest one in the book potentially.
I mean, I've been.
Okay, there we go. There we go. All of a sudden, I have hope. All of a sudden, I'm awake.
You see, they're giving you what you want, Wyatt. They're giving you what you want.
Yeah, I mean, this is great so far, but I have questions because putting Artsin, right, their star player, their star Jet player that we've talked about on the Sage is something that a lot of teams have tried to do in the past, and it's fallen very flat. We'll see how Artsin can adapt.
Yeah, but what's crazy is I'm curious what took them now to kind of make this shift. In their comp.
Like Wyatt was saying, right? Take a risk.
Yeah, take a risk. But also, when you're going up against G2, who you know are running the double controller with the Harbor, I want to see the multiple flashes. And they have the KO, they have the Gecko. You can combo the Dizzy coming in, and when they're shooting that, boom, you get hit with the KO pop flash, and you can just explode out of the walls.
Well, you know what? Our teams are ready for the first pistol round, so let's send it over to your casters. Here's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, man. I love a good rematch. I love a good rematch when there are teams who seem to show up with a little bit extra the second time around. I'm really excited for what G2 could show here.
Yeah, I mean, G2 is no slouch to playing rematches. We already saw them destroy EG in their last rematch against them, so I'm expecting something similar out of their side against this MIBR, or at least trying to replicate something similar.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think starting off on Icebox certainly helps, right? It's a map they seem really comfortable on. I think these conversations around Icy and where does he fit in the grand scheme of things.
He looks great on Icebox.
Looks notably more comfortable on Icebox. You're right. I agree.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of the pressure being off of his shoulders, having to be the entry, having to make all these plays and always be in the right spot. And the fact that G2 is so sound on a map like this, fundamentally, honestly, it feels like forever. They've always been good at Icebox. I remember playing against them when it was the Chamber Sage meta, and they were still really good at it. So, yeah, MIBR may be busting out a different comp and running a Gecko and a Sage and a KO, but I think this is nothing that G2 hasn't seen before.
We'll see how they handle it on the defensive side. And it'd be interesting to see how they choose to approach this. We saw G2 play this half on this map just a few days ago against LATAM, and what a banger of a map that was, but this is a very similar to how they like to set up.
Yeah. Instead of the Harbor being here at A, though, he's playing in the middle of the map, allowing the KJ to play more of this A. And this is all to deny the Sage bomb plant on the A site. So already trying to predict that MIBR would go A on the pistol round.
I got the spike. But it seems like it might be a lean B. FRZ has already taken a little bit of space, creeping forward. Imagine he will be an important variable later on as the round continues. But for now, they've been so quiet about this, Dre. They haven't made a single lick of noise. They haven't used really any utility. And you see it now primed at the ready. Knife the first to go. Dizzy shortly thereafter, and off of that, they try to take the space. They've already disrespected the harbor wall that's up. Their own wall goes up, and they want to fight back sight. They want to fight Snowman. Aggressive on the front, but G2's there to greet. Leaf and Jonah P getting the first couple of kills, and you see MIBR already having to deal with the trouble that's before him. You've got FRZ who's going to be on a late flank, but will the timing work out? Can they buy enough time for him to have value, for him to find impact? Oh, the first kill found. How much more trouble can he cause? A late lurk around mid, and the repositioning might have been his death. FRZ alone here with 51 HP gets one. Valent's gonna get it all the way, though. The kills are flashy, but the round goes to the defense.
That was beautifully played from G2, and it's just like I said, the fundamentals and the way that they play this map is so good. Valen got so much value there with his harbor wall. It not only blocked off the actual site, but it kind of blocked off a little bit of the actual wrap in the backside, and that allowed everybody to just bunker here and take these duels that FRZ took against G2, but in the opposite way. So it was really well played by G2. Leaf just getting out of there with Jonah P and just having a 4-man, basically just straight line on everybody that would push Snowman there. Very well played from G2.
It's so difficult for MIBR to deal with. See the buy here after that pistol is really non-existent as Sheriff for FRZ.
Yeah.
And a heavy lean B once more.
Yeah, I'm already seeing a game plan change from G2. A lot of their last series was having the double initiator and harbor towards the A side of the map. Now they're playing more towards the B side.
And again, it's contact. And once again, they're already ahead of the wall. Icy shots go a little sideways. Mazine is there to punish, and a weapon is upgraded.
And he's been struggling in this stage specifically, but yeah, his team has been able to bring him back. He just needs a little bit more time in this match to warm up, it would appear. But that's a big gun to get. I mean, a Bulldog in the hands of Artizine,
who's supposed to be the spark for this squad.
Oh, it's a great molly to take space too, and Jonah should be dialed in on this angle.
Only one is found. The trade being problematic as they continue to crumble, they continue to fall apart. Leaf is left alone, a 1v2.
30 seconds left.
He's got some weaponry. Can he find something a little bit better?
Enemy remaining.
Switches over. RGL with nothing but a classic.
He does have a molly though. So if Leaf doesn't press the issue and just tries to tap bomb, RGL does have a chance, but as I say that.
First couple of shots go wide. You see the utility go down. Trying to bait out the molly. It hasn't been committed yet. Still has it, finally.
The molly
invested,
missed.
but it missed. It went wide right. He's gonna stick the defuse.
Woo! Ice cold from Leaf. Clutching it up for his team, 1v2, and he was a big factor in their win on this map against Lev.
Yeah, he was nuts.
I mean, he had like almost 30 or something, I think, at the end. And it's because of stuff like this, his ability to clutch, close rounds out for his team, but that was really, really costly. And MIBR did a great job.
Wow.
Getting that Bulldog to get value. Honestly, they got one gun, and Artizine got 2 more kills off of that. So that was almost really scary for G2 there. And that's why you see this kind of weird, scrappy buy.
The effects of that kill back yellow being felt into the next. MIBR with full rifles here. RGL with the Bulldog. Trent. Oh, it's a 3-man push mid.
Yeah, G2 does really well with these mid pushes.
The timing on the Dizzy's got to be big for them to have a shot at this. There it goes. You see what the intention was there. The setup was nice.
And they're going to try to grab this gun. Oh, no. Not messing around. I think that's the wise choice there. It's not worth dying over the gun.
Agreed.
The Vandal would be nice, but you're already up 5v4. Trent has full util. Same with Icy. You can actually do a lot of stall with that. So with shock darts, Gecko Molly, and whatnot. G2 have a really good flood on this A side as well.
I mean, everyone's here except for Jonah P.
Yeah.
I wonder if they bite on this. Oftentimes when you see the initiator utility on the other side and how Achilles found the rotations will be manipulated, but
30 seconds left.
Just a brief moment of doubt for VALORANT as he takes a step back. They're not convinced as to what's going on. I think the KJ utility was the cue.
They have to spam the bomb. They have to deny the plant, and they do that. Time is running low right now for MIBR.
17 seconds left. They're trying to stabilize on the site, but between all of the utility and the fact that they don't really have mid presence either, they've got to deal with the fights that are happening now, and they're not going their way. RGL left alone, a 1v1. He is going to have time to get the plant down. Trent will arrive at the scene of the crime with nothing but himself. Can he get the shots? No. RGL with 3 and MIBR on the board.
Wow. G2 almost had that. I think it had Icy just been a little bit more patient in that heaven area, maybe fell back, waited for his teammate a little bit. It would have been perfect timing. Maybe run at the bomb as soon as you know that he doesn't have the time to plant because it was so close.
Yeah.
It was a matter of a second. Just had he lived for an extra second, they would have won the round guaranteed. So just already just that inexperience showing right now. But I would say nothing to be worried about for G2. You got 4 guns out there with Deagles and a Stinger starting off that round.
And they showed cool ideas to trap play mid.
Yeah.
Knowing that they were on a pseudo eco. Yeah.
You're going to see this a lot from G2. You're going to see them have this triple A setup where sometimes they'll even feint an aggro harbor wall to make teams use their abilities early on. And then they'll just give it and do a re-clear in mid. And when they play like this, it kind of allows them to have the upper hand and the read on where teams like to go. And that's why oftentimes you'll see them have 3-4 players at a site.
Trent got his ult online there. Jonah P.
Nice.
Still playing backside, hasn't given up any space, and he's got VALORANT here close by. The spike not planted yet. And the thing is, it's well out of reach here. This time they're behind the harbor wall. So
and then the orb's gonna come up right after.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle of utility.
This, unless something happens across the middle of the map, this feels out of reach. This feels difficult.
And a turret is just posted from top mid on this, but the timing!
He tucked into it.
Icy, he's not ready for it!
There's the middle of the map pressure that we were talking about. FRZ with 2, Artine getting the spike down. And it seems like he's gonna try to go for more. Trent invests the ult, realizing control has been lost in kitchen. All of a sudden, things have gone so sideways. I don't know how G2 are gonna get back into this one.
You imagine it would have to be off of...
I mean, that'll help.
Good util in the shocks onto this back yellow area.
That'll
there
help
it
too.
is.
RGL and JZZ still around, still sticking with this fight. Trying to dance around back yellow as the spike ticks away.
1 enemy remaining.
Time ever elusive, not on their side here. Leaf would have to pull off a miracle, and he's done it before. Can he do it again? The shots don't land. MIBR gets their second.
So good of MIBR to just stall right there, not let anybody get picked off, just cut noise. And then, as soon as their cooldowns are back up, they have the wall ready, they're able to use the Sage Wall, and at the same time of all this chaos happening onto this default box,
1 down.
Icy gets lurked on through that mid orb, and it's just, there was no way for him to truly know someone was going to be behind them at that moment. He's trying to break the wall. He's trying to delay the bomb plant from going down. That is the win con with a comp like this.
Nothing to spot that the orb went up. Nothing to spot that the timing was found. You're right.
That opened up the opportunity for FRZ to get those 2 kills on the lurk. So great job from MIBR so far to set that round up. And now we already see a shift going to the A site.
Oftentimes we'll see them cycle their harbor wall with their Viper wall, so there's something constantly out, but this time it's not overlapping. It's a little bit further back. It seems like they want to try to dig their heels in the sand a little bit further up, and that's exactly what they do.
Perfect accuracy.
Is it going to be enough, though? They still have Sheriffs, and they still have a Ghost. In the face of 2 Vandals, FRZ has his ult.
Yeah, so does Leaf, though, and I wonder, it looks like he does want to invest it. So if I'm MIBR right now, I want to get a bomb plant top site and just try to get out into that belt area.
Initiated.
That way I can hold the bomb, but a bit early of an ult here from G2.
45 seconds left, still plenty of time to think this through.
It will allow them to flood a little bit more into sight, maybe in certain weird angles, and it looks like Leaf and Icy are gonna double up here.
And I love what Jonah P's doing here. I love that he's filling in through mid,
30
playing
seconds
contain at this point. Understanding that there's really nowhere for them to go. They have to recommit to this.
That's so smart from Jonah P.
Or they stick to the flank. You're right. He orbs off the turret. He should be able to find a timing, but again, timing is everything. Can he get here in time?
10 seconds again.
And it's not for him. RGL should be able to get the spike down. None the wiser.
Wait,
as to what's behind them.
If RGL pops his head up.
It didn't spot him. FRZ's still in such a good spot. The drop is gonna give his position away. He still gets killed. FRZ, how? Oh, it turns so quickly.
That's an insane play from Jonah P, but also the 3 players on that A site, Leaf, Valen, and Trent, early on, getting so much value being out of range of that KO flash and getting all these kills because of it.
Yeah.
Mazin just didn't quite hit the mark with that flash, and it ended up being a huge punish. And Jonah P just smoking off that turret there
was huge.
Was insane.
Yeah.
Dropping there, landing those shots, it's sometimes not that reliable, especially with a ghost.
We've seen that weapon betray many a player, but clean from Jonah P. 6 and 3 so far, has his ult online. This time, the orb that's been going historically into the hands of Trent goes over to Icy. Thrash online now. And another reaggro mid.
This is a good heads-up play from MIBR. They're understanding that a lot of the times on the actual gun rounds, G2 feints the early A pressure, grabs the orb, and will go back to a re-clear mid. But they do it on purpose. They're willing to play a retake on A. They're so confident in their retake.
Oh, they have such good utility for it, too. I mean, you have Valen's ult, you have Icy's ult. Just causes so much chaos on the site.
They found the timing.
Reckoning invested. A recommendation to reposition. Now Icy on the swing out. Spike's still not planted. You see the wisps lighting up where MIBR members might be. Once again, much like a couple of rounds ago, we've entered a bit of a stalemate. Just a momentary pause in the round.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that that bomb got killed within the Viper ult, so G2 don't truly know if MIBR was falling back with the bomb or not, but now they will, and it's a full commit.
ACC ulted on that. We'll see how much value can get out of it. What a shot! Holy smokes!
That's his third 1-dig in the round.
Valen and Trent have to find a way to try to bring this thing back. Our team's been upgraded to weapon 4 on the round. The ace on the cards, and it will deliver. The iBuy ace for MIBR.
And the desk was talking about how Artizine has been that guy, or he should be that guy from MIBR. And he just proved it right here. He's 10 and 5 on Sage right now. He's owning, look at this, from the start. Clean shots. Oh my goodness, all headshots. That's gonna cause a timeout for G2. They don't want this one to slip away.
Yeah.
They're so good at this map too, so I think they're really shocked at the timings that MIBR have taken, specifically with that mid lurk play from FRZ, and now the entire team actually getting through on that A site. They were all pushed up and holding angles that they know G2 like to walk back into off of a certain clock, a certain timing.
Yeah. They've done their homework, so you're right. That's going to cause a timeout. Also, a friendly reminder for those of you who are watching at home, follow at iBuyPower on social media. They'll be giving away a PC every single time an ace is scored. So make sure you thank Guardzine. Use hashtag #UnlockYourAce to get a chance to win that PC. So we're tied at 3 apiece. You mentioned Guardzine and how incredible he's been. This feels like the Guardzine 2 that we saw flashes of in Kickoff, and who's, I mean, to be honest, who's kind of been absent for most of the stage, but showing up at just the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a must-win game for MIBR. There's so much pressure on this, but we've seen them before thrive under that pressure.
Elimination on the line. They've got to find a way to win this one out if they want to keep hopes of a playoff bid alive.
And I think for G2, the tough ask is, how do you deal with all the utility that MIBR's composition has. Because a lot of the times G2 play this map, it's against a team composition that they have a duelist or they have limited utility. But now they're playing against a team composition that has arguably more utility than theirs. So we're already seeing them struggle just with that fact in itself.
What an interesting start to the round. They used a cascade up mid, or down mid, excuse me. Leaf took the space down tube. And they're stacking B.
Yeah, I don't blame them for stacking B either, because every other eco round, G2 has played heavy A. So I wouldn't be surprised either that you would think that MIBR would go back to B for the next eco, but they don't care. They just stick into the game plan.
Leaf put in a fight that, I mean, he really, very little chance of winning. RGL now understanding where the rest of the pressure is coming from. Just a little throwing of the shoulder to confirm the suspicions, and there they go. They're found. Instead of taking the fight, takes the space.
They're doubling up here, Doug, too.
Yeah. I mean, potentially tripling up. JCZ is not far off.
Oh.
That's a big opener. But those two should secure things.
One enemy remaining.
Dude, Arzine's crispy
Dude,
with it
he's
today.
crispy right now. He's looking like Icebox the other day.
Yeah.
In the back sight.
That was clean.
Good anti-eco from MIBR, and FRZ played that really well, jiggling for info and then dropping. Sorry, RGL played that really well. Jiggling for info after you got that first kill in mid, and then doubling up with FRZ and just baiting for him.
Yeah.
It worked so well. Small things like that go a long way for teams.
You know, it feels like the biggest difference, too, is from the MIBR we've seen in the past to this one, is that they're doing the small things well.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing those small things better that have been lacking in the past.
And which is weird, because that's something when I watched MIBR, I took pride in them. I was like, it looks like they have a good game plan early on. Yeah. They have good defaults. But you're completely right. The last couple matches, it's kind of all fell apart for them.
Well, JCZ fell apart there in that fight against Leaf, but the res is going to trigger a cascade of ults.
Wow.
Trent using his, JCZ has to die again. That's tough.
But FRZ, off of all of that, takes kitchen control. And that's what caused this drone to come out, and I think the drone doesn't clear him out.
Yeah, but they have to understand it's weak, right? Yeah, they know. Icy just invested his ult.
Beautiful.
It's going to be the freest kill of his life.
He's accepted defeat completely.
Yeah, what else do you do? But off of this, MIBR again are starting to take some space. Icy should have been able to pick the ult back up, so Thrash, depending on how late the round goes, will make another appearance. RGL is really far up. What an awkward spot to be in.
He's stuck right now.
Yeah, he's trapped.
He has to pull a miracle, and that Kickoff's gonna not allow that to happen.
2 for 2 on the Thrash. That's all that'll be for now. Mazine and Arzine. Crumble. Right on cue. Leaf with 3 and G2 strike back.
It's so impressive to me how a player can take over to the equivalent of like how I feel Les would take over on that Sentinel role. Leaf really,
agreed,
can take over on this role, especially on this map. He's so confident in taking these fights that you would see a Jet normally taking. I don't know if it's the experience that he's had before, playing the duelist role in general, but he makes it look so good. And then even just a heads up play to jiggle that yellow person on Snowman, right? When he's at Snowman and he jiggles the person at yellow, it's perfect. Small things like that so he doesn't get insta-headshotted and then just lines up for the double swing with his teammate. He plays situations so well.
Yeah, you see why they wanted him on the Sentinel role. I get it. Every time I see it, it makes so much sense. He seems so comfortable in that space.
Coming back.
This was the early harbor wall that you were talking about a couple of rounds ago. Right? Suggesting that they're taking aggression B main, and then they actually like to refled mid.
Exactly, and that's why you see this reclear of the drone coming out.
Enemy tag.
And also, when you do early wall like that, if a team is scared, if they're defaulted outside of A, they're more than likely going to use utility to re-clear the area out. And that can also be a cue for you to get info just off of that. So G2 have a good system of how they like to play this A side.
Icy getting peppered through that wall, manages to stay alive, takes a little bit of damage, but all the warning shots were delivered. So now, because of the way that the beginning of the round played out, this is what you were mentioning earlier, Dre. They have to use utility to clear space that they would normally have for free.
Yeah. FRZ's doing a great job right now, throwing utility towards his A side of the map. And this might be a mid to B. This would be the perfect call to flip the Viper ult.
Icy knows. There's a lot of firepower on their side, but Crossfire with Jonah P could be perfect. They want to take the fight, but can they hold? Leaf joining in on a Trent, not far off. Valen there too. And who else but Leaf to hold the line? Meanwhile, through all of this, Jonah P's been playing in the pit, but FRZ has slipped the net. Looking for the owner of the pit will be found. Now that that's down, what do MIBR do? FRZ healing up a little bit. JZZ's reflanking.
It's planted for JZZ right here.
Oh, but the shots don't connect. It got a little messy, and FRZ was so much to do. Trent's already gonna take the defuse the entire way. Oh, that was close at the end.
It was a good try bringing the round back there in a 4v2 for MIBR. I liked what they were cooking up, just a whip at the end there.
That's tragic because the idea was great.
Yeah, and no one was there quick enough to actually get that trade. So had he hit those shots, it would have been perfect actually. They would have had a bigger chance to win the round. Jonah P with the heads up awareness here though to pop out of that Viper ult and take that early pick in the mid and then molly them off on top of that is what allowed Leaf to get those trades off of Icy taking that fight. So it's really well set up. Like the protocols that G2 have on this defensive side, they're so astute.
Yeah. They're comfortable on the map. They're comfortable in this half. We've talked about it. The Desk mentioned it too. I believe it was Ball who said it. This is a map that has been comfortable for them for a very long time. And you see it. But again, those little things that MIBR are doing well that we haven't seen them do well in recent memory is what's keeping this map so close.
Yeah, and I wonder now at the timeout what he's saying. I don't think we're going to find out. Regardless, no lip syncing here.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, how's your lip reading?
I couldn't even see him. I wonder. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like for what works so far for MIBR has been a lot of the contact plays, which makes sense because it's kind of like you want to walk up in certain areas, whether it's close A or close B, and then kind of explode with the KO dagger and the Sage Wall coming up to isolate fights and maybe get the bomb down if you can.
Yeah, and the Gecko util to flood in behind it. You're right.
Yeah, so I think they have to take control of some type of area of the map.
Yeah.
Act like they're actually full committing to a hit to bait out G2's utility and then recommit for the actual hit. This will be an early B default, but it's all fake. I mean, no one from G2 is really there to spot any of that utility, so of course they're not going to over-rotate. And the problem is MIBR don't know that. They didn't send bodies up far enough to confirm.
The knife just landed back yellow and B a couple of seconds ago, and there was no movement.
Yep.
They're going to be pushing into this heavy stack from G2. 3 of them are here. Leaf has his ult.
Valen did not get seen by the Thrash. There's going to be a ton of utility here for him.
Yeah, MIBR, it feels like they're walking into a grinder right now. But Valen's the first to fall. Somehow they're getting the openers that they need. Trent back sight, finds 2. Leaf is in a 1v3. Again, has the ult. A tough decision here. Maybe with one more kill, you consider investing it, but... Oh, he spotted one. The timing not going his way. Just so... Oh, boy. That was a tough jump spot.
And he does it again. What a maniac with the triple swing.
Hang on 1 second. Leafs had a shot at it, but the firepower on the other side was ultimately too much. We're tied at 5.
Again, it was what it's exactly what I said. It's kind of that like slow contact play, and then they explode with the utility. And Valen just getting caught out there. Nobody could shoot that Gecko flash from JZZ.
You know, what's tough too there is like that if you're using all this utility to burst out onto site after you've contacted, you just get so much more value out of it. Whereas if you're having to use it for contested space early on, like if you're still fighting for A main or if you're still fighting for B main, it gets so much more difficult.
Yeah.
Ultimate ready.
So there's contact, the slow contact approach that MIBR have brought into this, which we've seen since the pistol, by the way, is proving to cost fits for G2. And it seems like they might be able to do it again, but this time they've got Leaf's ult on the other side, Valen's ult. But this timing window that Mazine has just created with his ult could be the difference maker.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to fight Snowman once again. Oh, actually wrapping sight.
It's a beautiful idea. Off of the wall, they flash on the other side to take the fight, but G2 gladly punch back. Hey, this thing fell apart for MIBR so quickly.
Last player standing.
What can FRC do here? Yeah, in the face of 3, nothing.
G2 in this round did a really good job of playing that backside area and having somebody on top of site playing anti pretty much in that little tunnel area that connects the kitchen. That's why this round isn't successful. Right there, Icy getting a free kill. Mazine again, just relying too heavily on these KO flashes to get maximum value. But G2 are ready for these type of pushes. They understand that when it comes to the B side of the map, MIBR's game plan is to try to disrupt their delay. But when you pop KO out like that, you don't need to go for these crazy plays backside or pushing Snowman or anything, because nobody can use the utility to delay. So just get the bomb down in those scenarios and play a good post plan.
So it's crazy how much value Icy got from that kill up in kitchen. The free one that you mentioned, because that allowed Jonah P to get 2.
Yeah.
That was a difference maker on the round. This is a very similar utility we saw in the previous round or the one before that. The slower goes up, the knife takes a while, but finally lands back yellow.
And you're seeing everyone on the minimap for G2 shift off the A right now, besides Leaf, because a deep dart was made and it didn't connect on anybody. So they have the info.
And they have the KJ utility to confirm they can play this. Actually, very similarly, that was the same flash we saw in the previous round. This time the pit invested. Oh, just barely getting it down. And again, the cascade of ultimates just continue to wreak havoc on the site. Artsine the first to fall, G2 pushing forward, taking space. They still have to deal with the pit. And it's a pesky one.
Put the little guy on the bomb!
How much work can they do? RGL with 2. Now FRZ left alone, and he's so far away. Icy's just gonna hold it. What a beautiful setup.
Nice.
FRZ was taken out of the round.
That was such a good ball from Trent as well to open things up on that retake. Connecting on the leader of MIBR in terms of score, at least. Shutting out Artisine, not letting him get anything in amongst the chaos of the retake coming in. Nice, he's stepping up.
Stepping up and stepping forward right when the team needed him to. It was him taking that space, fighting for back yellow, that really allowed G2 to get so much more comfortable there. So a 7-5 half in favor of G2. We're gonna throw it down to the desk to break down the first half. Kickoff, you take it away.
Well, I mean, it looks like MIBR is online, and I gotta ask you guys, like, how's this comp working out for MIBR?
I mean, great so far.
Yeah,
I've been very impressed with a number of things that they've done.
Yeah, I think that honestly, this could have either been a 6-6 or MIBR possibly being up had they just played some of these B post plants differently. They were so committed to trying to push back Snowman, but early on, they were having some really big individual plays too that were taking them over the finish line. RGL with his 3K, Artzun with the ace. I like what I'm seeing so far. This was a good round on B where the wingman went down and then they cycled the wall, got the sage wall up, retrieved the spike. This was one of the good B rounds, but yeah, overall still satisfied with this half from MIBR.
I think especially early when some of those gecko plants failed, they had many layers where there was constant, secondary approaches, right? Where they'll go and flash, where they put the sage wall down or something like that to recover the spike and put it back down. But where it was falling flat for me was everything else. Yes, Artston was having a fantastic game, but in terms of like them, I don't know, man. They were doing stuff like that we know does not work on Icebox since 2021. I'm obsessed with that year, but since 2021, we know that mid splits don't work. We know that pushing back into Snowman doesn't work most of the time, and yet over and over they're flashing through that Viper wall that they're throwing. They're putting the sage wall down and trying to do something deep into the site. And yes, the map is different, but those types of things have low success rate, and they have low success rate here again.
Yeah, honestly, I just gotta, but it's, what's interesting is I feel like we kind of predicted this earlier that we were gonna see Gecko come online for MIBR, and I mean, Wyatt, you're the one who brought this up.
More of a hope and a prayer than a prediction, but I still have a lot of hope actually in MIBR.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be a competitive game on the second half. Their comp is great on the retake.
There's no room to overcook here.
All right, well, let's get the second half underway. Back to our casters.
A 7-5 half, and now MIBR will have to figure out how they want to approach the defensive side if they want to keep this thing competitive, because G2, both teams have looked really good, but G2 were able to do those last couple things well to keep this thing up, including winning 4 of the last 5 to close out the half.
Yeah. Which they needed to do.
Oh, there's a lot of early presence here. I think they only spotted one. Oh, but the slow should have confirmed that there was a second. So understanding where some of the defense is, they still invest the drone, spotting Arzine, tagging out. Do they commit to this? They've drawn out the wall. They still have a lot of space too.
This is just really good from G2 to bait out all this utility within, what, 30 seconds of the round?
Yeah.
And then they just cut noise here. And this is where you'd like to see maybe MIBR on that second dagger of Mazin. Maybe throw a lineup that lands around this B area. Find out if they're still there.
And the silence is introducing so much doubt. There's the second knife, confirming there's no one there. So they either went jail, they pushed up 410, or they're still B. You start to see some of the panels of the wall get cleared out. They're pushing into a lot of MIBR members here. They're not that far off. Trent pushing forward, clears out the Dizzy, but it gets cleared out in response. JZZ and FRZ still trying to hold the site down.
Oh, Leaf found a timing in mid.
Can he find value?
I think they're kind of aware. I don't know. RGL's trying to clear this.
Yeah.
He just saw him, I think.
Paranoid of what's on the other side. Valen gets 2 big kills. Jonah P not able to land the shots, but the damage has been dealt.
Oh, Leaf has been so good.
Oh!
As I say that, I cursed him. I cursed him.
Can Valen pull this off on his own? The spike has been taking a long time, so all the onus is on MIBR. They have to take the fight or stick to the defuse. RGL's gonna get the shots. The defuse will come through. MIBR get their 6th.
I mean, good play from MIBR to not take the bait on that cut of noise.
Yeah.
That G2 did after baiting out all that utility. And honestly, I thought it got really scrappy there towards the end. A lot of players just running out of that Viper wall individually, one by one from MIBR. They kind of got blessed that the trades went in their favor. I mean, this kill.
And this is tragic.
Yeah, that was the icing on the cake for them at that point. I feel like we played that round so well on the lair. A good reason to be hyped if you're the coach of MIBR and potentially the players as well. Oh, this is really risky from JZZ going on a solo mission to grab the orb with no support at all.
Mission accomplished, one away from the ult. But you're right, though, with a Bulldog there by himself, that could have been disastrous. Either way, though, not the case. And of course, he's greeted, he's gifted with a kill.
JZZ has ult already, too.
Goes off of getting that orb, and now the kill on Valen opens things up so much. Now you imagine they try to get through this round as cleanly as they can so they can use it in the next. And that's exactly what they do. So we have a really interesting opportunity here for another crazy snowball to take off, because you saw MIBR got through that very cleanly. I think they still have 4 armor on 4 members. They have the Thrash ult on mine, and they have what, 4 Bulldogs? So all of a sudden, because of the way the game is kind of playing right now, because of the fact that we play on March 12, there's this insane opportunity for MIBR to run away with this half if they can convert on this bonus. Bonuses aren't really a thing the same way they used to be.
Yeah, and the scary thing too is that G2 has 3 players on light armor going up against 3 Bulldogs and all this utility, damage utility too. KO Molly, Gecko Molly, Viper Mollies. Just so much utility from the side of MIBR. And honestly, that last round looked like they took a page out of G2's book on how they play the A site. Double initiator and a controller. In this case, it's the Sage.
I know it's early, but this round has the potential to have drastic impacts on how the rest of this map plays out. The opener going their way.
Oh, and FRZ sneaking into this yellow area as well.
The thing is, there are only 2 members here. It's just FRZ and RGL. And RGL's kind of leaving.
All he has to do is just play an off angle here. And he should be good for a couple kills.
Oh, I didn't think it was gonna get him. FRZ not feeling the pressure, looking left and right.
He has no help at all.
Expecting the swing, he still gets a kill. Remember, JZZ still has his ult. Numbers in favor of the defense. Can they upgrade any weapons? Artine has nothing but a stinger.
Look at the mini-map. You see JZZ on the flank. Does he decide to try to take a timing peek, or does he just commit the ult outright? Oh, he got the timing. Trent saw him. Trent saw him for sure here.
Crosshair trained on the position. They're taking their time with this one. Now they're investing it, and it feels late. Meanwhile, Icy's getting 3 on the round.
Someone's there.
A 2v2. You gotta take some space here. You gotta take it if you want to have a shot at this. JCZ's in a 1v2. This feels like they had a really good opportunity, but I don't know how they're gonna snatch this thing back. JCZ has so much to do. G2, yeah. They get their 8th, they take the lead back, and that feels like a head scratcher on how MIBR approached the latter half of that round.
Yeah, and I mean, I understood what their game plan was, right? They wanted to play the numbers game, right? They had a flank in there. Hold on.
One enemy remaining.
And that's the last.
Nice, Jake. Come on, fellas. Let's go. Good recovery, fellas.
At least they're pretty calm. But yeah, MIBR had honestly, they tried to play it too fundamentally sound. They tried to play the numbers game too well and gave too much space. And I'm happy that of all players on this G2 roster, it was Icy that stepped up and made the play. He understood that he needed to make a play and go huge for his team, and he did that, and it won them the round. That's huge for Icy.
Poison's off.
Talk about mid pressure and finding value with it. Getting a kill, getting a dink onto the second, not connecting onto the third, but they've gotten what they wanted.
You want more?
Thrash clearing out a little bit of space. Look at how far up Leaf is.
I mean, he's a duelist.
Yep. He plays like one. What do they have to try to get back into this? Swingman, Dizzy, and both of them have been cleared, yeah. But they still get the kills. Just like that, as soon as they get the kills, as soon as they get the openers, they're stunned. They're dead. Icy with 3 and G2 with their 9th.
He's awakened.
Sorry, buddy, it's over.
Icy is woken up, feeling the confidence. I mean, both Geckos were sitting at like 4-3 kills in their last half, and they're both stepping up now. This time, Jonah P going for the insta mid lurk. So a hard read into this round, or maybe just a straight up A strat that they have pulled out. It's nice to see him have some confidence and smiling on the stage. And I feel like for his teammates as well, seeing him in that state, it should motivate them too.
Such a drastic swing because of how the last couple of rounds have gone. MIBR's economy's kind of in the bin.
Deploying drone.
Yeah, in a series that's been round for round. Finally, a little bit of separation from G2 off of that crazy clutch from a couple rounds ago.
They do such a good job with their harbor utility, man. There was a cascade, a Viper wall up, and a harbor wall up all at the same time to section off the site, take it in thirds, take the fights that they want, and then go forward. And honestly, this is against, as we mentioned earlier, pistols, right? Like, this isn't into a crazy gun round. They do the fundamentals so well.
Yeah, and on the opposite side, MIBR just seems like they can't really delay this bomb plant on beat. They don't have the Viper usually defaulted there or the KJ mollies to be doing so.
MIBR with the little weaponry that they do have are going to have to try to snatch this round back. But it doesn't seem like G2 will relent. But 2v2 though, Spike's been going for a little while. Well, they may have a shot at this.
Gonna get it high.
Pushing forward. He got. Oh my gosh!
What? This might be one of the most insane spray transfers we've seen in VCT. I mean, that was a double swing.
And we didn't see it.
And it was an up-down. I mean, we saw it happen. We didn't see it from his POV. Hopefully we get a replay on that. This was crazy. This was a replay of the beginning of G2's demise, ultimately. I mean, right here. Dude! What? I mean, this is just another crazy game.
And honestly, in those moments, MIBR for the first 2 weeks in the stage fold. But that clutch moment keeps them in this map.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
G2 wanting to go fast A. They've cleared out all of the site with the Thrash. They got rid of all the utility from the Killjoy.
You know what's crazy to me?
What's that?
Icy had Gecko Wall 2 rounds ago.
Just used it again. They do such a good job of dealing with all of that. I'm trying to find as much value as they can. JZZ using his MIBR. So far, the attempted retake has been successful. But how much more can they find? Leading from the front is VALORANT as he gets 2 kills. JZZ dropping down into the stun. Icy's been so good with his ult. Mazine has to try to protect them, buys enough time. But how much more can they do? Trent on the first. You start to see the defuse go through. JZZ holds the line once more. This has been so impressive from MIBR, man.
Yeah. Honestly, both teams are playing really good VALORANT right now. Even again, Icy getting almost max value with the ult in these scenarios. VALORANT did a great job to even the numbers there, but Mazine was the factor in this retake. Protecting his 2 teammates that were under the threshold and delaying, not dying, doing the pop flash to allow his team the time to just come out of that ult and ultimately have JZZ just clutch it out for them again with another kind of similar up-down spray, but this time just not as coordinated for G2.
The buy for the attack side is less than stellar. We'll see what they can do with it. Got the Viper wall just going towards B, the Cascade. Once again, splitting the site so well. Previously, we've seen a Harbor wall go out at this time, but not the case here.
Man, this is a full push on the flank.
Dude, they've taken so much space.
Oh, and the turret actually went down for a second. They almost didn't have to shoot it, but they decided to do it anyway. And that will give G2 the heads-up awareness.
Planted.
But there are players in this mid area. Leaf will be first contact.
A stinger at that distance. It's just tough. Now you've got the soul bullet you're gonna have to deal with as well. And it's tagging up a couple of members. Can Jonah P find value here? Gets 1 kill. Checks for the second, that doesn't arrive, but the gun has been upgraded. And now with that, signs of life for the attacking side. FRZ dancing around the ult, trying to find a little bit of time.
This is chaotic. What is MIBR doing right now?
I don't know, but they've got to do so quickly because if this doesn't work out, you still got Jonah P, who's going to be a little on a late flank with the weapon. RGL with 15 HP. The molly at his feet will be too much.
Wow. And you could tell MIBR was just lost on what they should do on that retake. They didn't know how to take back that control of, honestly, the middle of the map. Jonah P and Leaf played it really, really well. The tracking right here from Jonah was great.
What's concerning, too, is that that's not the first time this game where we've seen MIBR just kind of lock up a little bit. Maybe have a little indecision of how they want to approach the round.
Yeah, you could tell they had no answer into it, and that's why you see a timeout coming out as well. Hopefully Bazooka can instill those retake fundamentals and stuff like that for if this happens again. Because so far, I feel like G2 have gotten a lot of value in mid. And, we saw Jonah P do that insta mid lurk when they did the A hit. This time, Leaf and Jonah P going through the mid orb towards that kitchen area, just holding that space. They don't even have to do much. They just listen for the rotations and just be a thorn in the side or the back of MIBR. And it worked perfectly. It was honestly the perfect strat for the moment. Stealing that round away, breaking the economy of MIBR. And when you do timeouts like this, it's good to do it around early because you kind of want to mentally prepare for the actual gun round. I don't think you're going to see anything too crazy on this eco round from MIBR. This isn't the main reason for the timeout. It's for the following gun round, which is a must win. So if things go smoothly, G2 should be up 11-9 after this round.
They have 4 ults. I imagine the focus here is get JZZ as many orbs as you can so that you're running with 5 or as close to 5 as possible in the next gun round.
Yeah, and they were lined up to try to take that A orb, but G2, too many members here. Wise of MIBR to back up.
FRZ is taking a lot of space mid, and he's going to get more because the turret's so deep.
Trent is holding the flank, though. This is good for FRZ. All he needs to do is sit here and just listen, find his timing once the actual retake comes in. Leaf is going to stick this.
45 HP. There's the timing that he was looking for. FRZ tried striking as soon as the spike went down. You assumed there was chaos on the site that would serve as a distraction, but it was just too much. Now, how do MIBR attempt this retake? Leaf investing his ult, trying to secure the round.
A lot of ult committed into this round from G2.
Yeah, a surprising amount, to be honest. Leaf up top. Oh, tragic timing. Ultimately will fall. Mazine and JCC, you imagine they will join in just a moment's time as the spike ticks away. Mazine trying to see if he can find any exits, any freebies on the way out. And he might get one. He does. Back of the head, assassination styles. Valen falls. Mazine got what he wanted at the end there.
And it's tough with rounds like this. It's like, do I invest the ults? Do I not? Because at the end of the day, a round win is a round win. It's really important, and
especially late in a game.
If you lose this round, I mean, that's like basically selling the map.
Yeah.
So I'm not against using ults to win rounds. If you can get a W with it, it's worth it. Maybe a little bit too many, but you know, whatever. Now they
got the round
one round away from match point.
Right.
Valen's already close to another harbor. He's been having a really good map. He's been honestly killing it with the walls that he's been putting up, especially on the XX.
I feel like they've been min-maxing their ults really well across the board, not just Valen, right? We talked about how many Icy has had. Tren has had a ton of Sova ults too.
Yeah. And on the opposite side, if MIBR can win these rounds by just stringing their ults, not comboing too many of them, they can really put themselves in a good spot to bring a comeback and potentially win the map.
It almost becomes like a mini game of how many can you get away with not investing while still winning the rounds. There's the first. Well, there's the second. They've used both the KOL and the Viper Spit. And the third.
Oh, and they get a free kill on the Icy.
I mean, they've thrown everything into this.
Valen's gonna stay, try to get as many as he can.
What a weird ball! He gets 3! Oh, it's a disaster for MIBR.
That Sage wall's full up. Oh, it's not enough.
Half. I believe he got half. FRZ still with so much to do, and now the drone in his face. Waiting for the swing, waiting for the challenge, and it just never comes. Red's fancy footwork drops him that round. I mean, that's the worst possible scenario if you're MIBR.
And again, it just seemed like there was confusion. A late Viper pit coming out and then dropping it way too early. The KJ ult wasn't through yet. This is a play that I feel like a lot of ranked players make a mistake of doing. They rush the site too early before the KJ ult truly goes off. I mean, this is a free kill on Valen if they just wait. This is why you don't cut corners. And this is so uncharacteristic of MIBR. Like we were talking about, we like to, a team that thrives off of doing everything
the fundies
by the book.
And the value that Valen was able to find back site too is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, he never gets through there if they just wait for the KJ to go through, but good on him to take advantage of that and understanding that MIBR was going to get antsy. Excuse me, little tongue twister there.
They've done a decent job of keeping MIBR back in this round. They've already gotten the spike down and drawn a line in the proverbial sand. Now, what do they do off this? Our team has his ult, but that's the only thing. Again, they invested everything they had into the last. And so far, they've gotten one. A tap on the spike, and it's nothing but a threat. An empty one at that. Jody P swings out. RGL falls.
Oh, man.
G2 continued to push the pace. The res back gives numbers in favor of the defense, though. Icy still with his ult online. And that should be the difference maker there. There's not a ton of time. They still have all of this to play around. Mazine is left in a 1v3. And it's the spike that's going to decide how things play out here. He gets his kills, but the map in favor of G2.
Too good in the post spot.
Yep.
Icy again getting a kill there to get his ult online. It basically just secured the round. Jonah P could push off of that and just be a menace on the site. It's a good win for G2. I mean, it was hard fought.
It was. And again, an MIBR that showed a lot more than we've seen in the last couple of weeks. An MIBR that previously would have folded when things don't go their way. They showed a lot of grit and they showed a lot of resilience, but ultimately it was too much at the end of the day. And that's the thing about G2 is they do, and much like we saw on this map, they do the small things well. And when everything else is going their way, when they have the big clutch moments, when they have Trent doing what he's doing and Valen leading from the front, 23 and 18, by the way, for the IGL, everything goes in the way of G2.
Yeah. And Icy, I gotta call him out.
Yeah.
He played a great map. Yeah, he went even, but the impact kills that he got and the scenarios in which he got the kills, was a big deciding factor in this map win for them. So I'm really happy for him.
He's good on Gecko. We'll see how Raze looks. His bind is the next map. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break.
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Thanks.
Ooh, yes, problem. You need Verizon. Trade in that old thing and get a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage, so you can take all the pics. So many selfies.
A preposterous amount of panos!
That means panoramic. And as many portraits of me as your heart desires.
How about none?
None, yeah, none feels right.
Trade in any iPhone in any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro on us. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Step into the ring! Step into the ring! Step into the ring!